Good morning, MUIDF. I'm Ty from 1201, and I'm really here in the studio today with Mint from 1207. We're from the Broadcasting Club, and we're here every Wednesday from 7:45 to 8:15.
As a reminder that if any teachers are listening at this point, we know you are in a meeting right now, so feel free to switch off the PA system in your room. You can do that using the neat little volume knob right next to one of the doors.
And yeah, it's been quite a while, so don't forget that you can always contact us if you're interested via the Google form in your homeroom hub or by Instagram at MUITS Broadcast. And now let's get on to the announcements.
About last week, you do remember Battle of the Bands, right? I actually missed that out due to my friend's graduation. But anyways, I believe that it probably has been amazing. Don't you think so?
Yeah, like feedback from a lot of people has said that they're really good. Like the guys in Battle of the Bands have been excellently performing. Yeah, as a side note, a lot of people have been cheering on all of the bands, saying they did quite exceptionally and they really enjoyed it. Anyway, yeah, we haven't broadcasted for like 2 weeks, have we?
Yeah.
So I guess this is a have you missed us kind of situation.
Mm. Anyway, so let's continue with the library book fair.
Yes, because of course the library is going to be holding a book fair this Thursday and this Friday. There's going to be books from a variety vendors from Kinokuniya, Asia Group, which sells Thai books, Asia Book, which is a separate entity actually. Interesting. Anyway, Pearson as well and McGraw-Hill. So if you want educational books, if you want literature, if you even want like what is it called? Fiction books, they've got all you want. And the librarians told me that they're pretty special discounts, so don't be afraid to check them out. Finally, last but not least, we'd like to thank the librarians for hosting all of this, making all this possible. So, quite awesome. And yeah, as a side note, I totally forgot to say that there's going to be activities at lunchtime for each of the grades' lunches. So check in, maybe get free vouchers. Not vouchers, sorry, coupons for discounts. It's gonna be awesome, right, Min?
Wow, this is definitely for bookworms. So, special thanks to the librarians, and we hope that you enjoy it.
Yeah, are you going, Mint?
Let me see my schedule first.
I,
How about you?
I'm definitely going at least once or twice, just for the free money.
Mm,
Not necessarily free money. There's like a competition, they say.
that is interesting. But now, let us mention that the dorm gates are gonna close at 4:30 p.m. every day. So, if you're staying after 4:30 p.m., make sure you're with the teacher, and the teacher will accompany you to the gate.
Yeah, definitely, because you can stay on campus after the time, but only if you have an accompanying teacher, so be aware of that and cautious. And for ice matches and stuff like that, teachers are always there, so I don't think that's a concern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're going to talk about the next thing. As you may or may not have already seen in the homeroom hub, there's something special this week. And it's something special for the grade 10s who are coming to grade 11 because they are going to get to know who studies in what APs.
Congratulations to all the accepted students, and don't forget to sign your contract and meet with your teacher for the important dates.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got a long road ahead of you, but it's one that's worth it. So I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we all get fives together because I'm also doing a few APs as well. You know, that's not the only announcement we have. We have also one for the grade 12s. Specifically, it's about a photo shoot. Take it away, Mint.
So, the grade 12 will be using their study hall and PE classes, and period 8 is going to be used this week. Some individual photos will be taken during PA, so don't forget to bring your belt and school suit. Also, on March 1, a panorama photo, which includes all of the grade 12, would be taken. So, all grade 12 must come to school and bring their suit and belt.
And then, yeah, as a side note, since I hear they're having a few issues with everything, they might be postponing or moving some of the stuff. So stay tuned within the line group, and you should hopefully be on time on dates. If you aren't, well, please contact Love. She's gonna sort it out for you and maybe figure out a path forward. Well, I guess this sums it up for homeroom today, right?
But how about, let's say, don't forget to check your learner development and community service hours on Power School.
Ooh.
Those are updated too.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. I have like 500 and then it's gone, it's done. But for everyone else, hopefully you get it by grade 12 because, well, it's quite comfortable if you do it like that. But if you don't, it's not a problem. You still have months to get like few community hours.
Wow, 500 is a lot. I I have like I'm happy with mine, but I didn't get that much.
Uh, no, it's not really a competition anyway. It's we all just need to do it to graduate. And according to the admin staff, it enriches us and makes us better people. So, yay. Anyway, you know what? I does this sum it up now? What else?
Mm-hmm. Now, let's move on to the news. A power bank catches fire on a domestic flight.
This news is from Reuters, a pretty reputable news source, and Bangkok Post. So, facts, figures, and information are from yesterday's article. We can have a look at them if you want to, but let's get on to the interesting content.
Let me mention that power banks are energy dense everyday items, and sometimes they are actually badly designed. Some of them are damaged, or old, or even swollen, and some of them catch fire. The risk is relatively low, but please be careful because they're extremely hot when you dispose them.
Oh yeah, when they're extremely hot, they have a chance of catching fire, and be cautious of that. But other than that, if your power bank is suddenly growing bigger, like very much bigger, I don't think that's safe. You should probably dispose of them safely as soon as possible. And if worst comes to worst, if a power bank catches fire, since they're lithium ion, they're practically pretty hard to put out. So, put it, throw it somewhere where it won't burn everything else and then let it burn itself out. Please don't use water, by the way. That's not a good way to put out a power bank. Anyways, let's talk about the story of one power bank that someone had the misfortune of bringing on an AirAsia flight.
Now, an example would be on an AirAsia flight from Bangkok to Nakhon Si Thammarat, 30 minutes after departure at 7:20 a.m.
Yeah,
Well, this power bank catches fire and is put out in 2 minutes by the passengers and the cabin crew. The flight continued and landed as scheduled in Nakhon Si Thammarat Airport. But after investigation revealed this substandard device.
was the cause of the fire. Yeah, as expected. Anyway, well, nothing really happened. We just wanted to inform you that, hey, just be careful what brands of power banks you buy and how old they are if they look wrong. Well, where was I going next with this? Oh yeah, I was going next to talk about, well, usual guidelines and appropriate stuff to follow while going on a plane. More specifically regarding power banks, because, yay, since that incident, everything has become more strict. Well, sorry, enforcement has become more strict, but the guidelines remain the same. The guidelines are that power banks should not exceed 30,000 milliamps if you brought them onto a plane, and they can only be brought on by carry-on luggage, so you can't wore them under the plane for some somewhat obvious reasons. Anyway, well, let me reiterate again that powerbank explosions are exceedingly rare. And according to Desidad Luang Boripat, a lecturer at Chulalongkorn University, she says that 1,000, chances of an explosion are practically 1 in a million, so don't be too panicked by this.
So, 100,000 flights per day globally. So bound to happen eventually.
It's like as if you threw a single coin 10,000 times. You're bound to get at least one time where there's like five heads in a row. That's statistics for you.
Well, but so some tips to prevent explosion
Yeah.
are
Go for it. I definitely don't want them to explode on me.
firstly, remove the charger after and fully charge. No high temperatures and humidity to prevent this explosion.
Yeah, and of course, be careful. Don't violently drop or kick your power banks because, yay. Anyways, I think we're done talking about scary stuff like power banks, right?
Yeah, now we're gonna be talking about South Korea's doctors protest and announced this Monday that they're protesting about the disrupted service at major hospitals. They forced hospitals to turn away patients, and 2 out of 3 Korea's residents and intern doctors went on to strike.
Yeah, and in response to this, South Korea announced that, quote, South Korea gives protesting doctors an February deadline to return to work without consequence. Okay, continue, Min. I'm sorry.
Uh, do, do you mean this
Yeah.
plan to increase the number of admitted medical students?
Yeah, the doctors are really against that, and you'll find out why in about 2 minutes. Anyway, the government, though, is understandably trying to resolve an issue of increasing doctors because right now, South Korea is one of the developed nations with the lowest doctor per people rates, which is, let's just say, a problem because of the training health system. Anyway, the government doing that made people want to protest, specifically doctors, because of because they thought that the quality of education would suffer. And you know what? Let's grab a quote from the safety minister, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the safety minister of Korea, Lee Sang-min, said that considering the gravity of the situation, the government issues its last plea, and chaos is running in hospitals and emergency services, reaching a dangerous situation at this point. So, I mean, our heart goes out to those who are suffering because of the protests, but we also have to understand each of the separate perspectives that have come to play here. So, I'm personally not going to express any opinion on this, but let's just say both sides have an equally valid case right here.
Now, the government previously warned that it could take legal action against the doctors who don't comply. And Vice Health Minister Park Min-soo said, quote, those who do not return by March 1 will face a minimum 3-month suspension of the medical license and some other legal action. But the reason they're protesting because doctors want a better pay and working conditions. So they want the government to do more reconsideration of doctors maybe in school, citing low quality of education.
Yeah, but as a side note, senior doctors and private practitioners did not actually join the walkout, but they did hold rallies because they hold the same opinion. Well, let's talk about citizen opinion now because that's also what is it called again? A stakeholder, right?
Uh-huh. Well, actually, 76% support this Gallup Korea poll with 100% approval rating when the plan was proposed.
Yeah, it actually went up to 41% in a bit. So, wow. Anyways, I mean, I've said anyway so many times now today, haven't I?
Yeah, but now we're gonna be talking about how to lead and what are the skills needed to become a good leader.
Yeah.
Can you begin?
Definitely. But before we really get into the knowledge, let's talk about why you need this stuff, because that's probably a question in some of you guys' minds right now, due to the fact that many of you aren't in positions of power, aren't like the dean of some place or the leader of a group. But leadership is, of course, not limited to authority figures or team leaders.
Now, everyday leadership can be possessed by all people, regardless of official leadership positions, and it is defined as, quote, an individual who, regardless of formal title or authority, influences others to achieve shared objectives for the good of the collective by Psychology Today.
Yeah.
Relevant for everyone who works in society.
And that type of leadership is actually called, oh my god, my brain, I forgot the name. Uh, anyway,
Maybe now let's give me an example.
yeah, certainly. Why not? Do you guys know Greta Thunberg?
Hmm, maybe?
Okay, so this Greta Thunberg I'm talking about that you may or may not know is a 15-year-old student in Sweden. She practices everyday leadership because she advocates for environmental responsibility and action to stop or slow down climate change. And one of her actions was she took action by sailing to North America to speak at the 2019 UN Climate Action Summit, all the way from her home, her home country, which is like 1,000 kilometers away. Is that
Yeah,
like in that neighborhood?
that is a lot of hard work.
It is a lot of hard work, and it's like so many days of work as well. Anyway, this just goes to show whether you agree with her actions or not, that, well, everyone can take action on their part, and that everyday leadership doesn't need to be as famous or impactful, and the small things also count. No matter if that's about your community, about just your friend group, or perhaps even about telling the world out. Well, some examples, like briefly, we can talk about community projects, mentoring others, volunteering, and a lot of other things that you do for other people, which of course you do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we know that it's relevant to everyone. So we're gonna be getting on to the toolkit of leadership. These SMART, or just SMART goals, some techniques, practices, and so we just can't give practice to you, but you have to try it out yourself.
Yeah.
We can only give advice based on the research we've done.
Yeah, okay, so we've got our three categories that we are going to go over to today, which is one, toolkit for leadership, which is something I'm going to be honest, I was the one who collected and found all these tools, but they're all scientifically proven and they all help you. And the second is going to be techniques to lead better according to science and psychology. Yay, right?
Yeah, so first thing is lead by example. It may be heavily used phrase, but it's actually true. It means that just simply conduct yourself to standards you set for others, like setting a good example or showing positive attitude, which can influence others too.
Definitely. And if you show a positive attitude, it's actually scientifically proven that it might be contagious. Like, if you have a good attitude, other people will have a good attitude around you as well. Like, for example, I'm gonna take someone who literally just walked past. Palm. She was just literally smiling. How are you feeling?
Um, me?
Yes.
For me, I also like the leader who sets a good example, since it makes me motivated and want to be interested in what they're gonna do.
Oh, so you totally avoided my question. Never mind. Let's just move on and pretend that never happened. Okay, so, we're done with leading by example. one of the most commonly used phrases, but still stands true even to today. Let's go to the next one.
Mm. So the next important trait is decision making. A decisive reevaluation or being confident in your decision, but still continue to reevaluate.
And just as a fun trivia thing, this actually stems from the aviation industry, where you make a clear, concrete decision, but you continue to re-evaluate on the available information. You want an example or no?
Um, you can give an example.
Certainly. So, for example, if I were to do a test and I wasn't sure between two options, and the next question was related to this topic, at first I would just decide, oh, I want this. I'm decisive about that. But then when I see the next question, oh, it actually has information for the last question. So I go back and redecide based on all the available information.
I think that make objective decisions, which means that make decisions based on facts and not feelings. So you can get as many perspectives from others and most importantly, admit your mistakes and timely and relevant decisions too.
Yeah, all of these are important factors because if you decide something and it's too late, someone else may have decided for you. But if you decide too early, well, you may or may not have made the wrong decision. But I'm gonna be absolutely honest. All of these knowledge comes from experience. So make decisions, do what you think is right, and come back, reevaluate, check, learn, and then move on. This is the kind of thing that makes you a better leader as well. Which leads on to our next point, doesn't it?
Next, autonomy and trust. So assign work and evaluate occasionally and don't micromanage.
Yeah, because if you come in, maybe potentially to your group and literally go, hey, have you done this specific sentence yet? This. If you do it enough, people will start to get annoyed, right?
Yeah, this leads to listening to others. So you listen and you evaluate other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
Maybe they might have a reason that they would like to tell you. So clearly evaluate and listen to others too.
Yeah, because a very important part of leadership is the ability to emphasize, the ability to understand other people and actually evaluate their viewpoint. Not just go with your own, try someone else's choose. Well, not literally, it's an idiom in English that means, hey, look at someone else's perspective. Why are they thinking this? Why are they saying this? Words can often mean more than their specific components, exactly like idioms. Like if I say, for example, push a keg up a mountain, it means literally nothing. But if you add context to that, it makes more sense. Like it's a Thai idiom which means doing something really hard, etc.
About some words have hidden meaning. Don't forget to communicate clearly so everyone understands their role and they know the direction of their team. But don't forget to listen to others and their decisions. So make yourself available for communications for others too.
Yeah. When you say something, think of the how people will interpret it and how they will understand it. Make it as clear as you can without being too verbose, meaning like literally saying everything to the T. Like as clear as you can and as concise as you can. That's the key here.
But another factor to consider is honesty. Every leader should admit their mistakes and make transparent decisions. And more importantly, they should have the courage to make it right.
Yeah, I think this covers all of the attributes that I brought with me today, right, Vince?
How about prioritize using Eisenhower metrics? Or maybe set the SMART goals, SMART goals?
You're
Do you have time for that?
Yeah, definitely, but you're already going on to the next topic. So, I mean, that's a nice lead on, actually. Would you guys like to know about SWOT? Sorry, the Eisenhower matrix? And would you like to know about SMART goals? Okay,
I would be interested in those.
everyone else is silent because we can't hear them. But let's assume they're like you and they say yes. So, yes, let's go on. Let's do it. Okay, first, we want to talk we want to talk about the Eisenhower matrix. It's the name of the maker, but it's also called the urgency or importance matrix. You pretty much have a two by two matrix of how urgent something is and how important something is. And tasks are divided into four boxes. And the boxes are urgent and important, such as, crying baby, stove fire, kitchen fire. Well, you do those things straight away. You attend to them immediately as soon as you can. But what about, I don't know, urgent and not important?
For me, I think the plan is to just simply, maybe you don't have to do it straight away, but you must make a plan when you're going to do it. For example, exercising and planning your vacation.
Yeah, definitely. And that also holds true for urgent and not important. But, it's a slightly lower priority because it's not as significant.
You can delegate those to other people. And some urgent and not important issues include interruptions, distractions, and maybe some other calls.
Yeah, and these things, well, you do it when you have the time or you're able, or you delegate, like Min said. That's also a valid option.
Lastly, we have the both not urgent and not important. Maybe a trivia, some of your busy work, and some time wasters. So do those whenever you are free to.
Yeah, like the same thing with saying, hey, check your phone only for important stuff if you don't have the time to deal with, what is that called again? The big swipey thing? It,
I don't think I can recall that.
what is it? On the social media direct, oh yeah, I remember now. Instagram, right?
Yeah, Instagram.
I'm sorry. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic before I dig myself another hole.
SMART. That means smart, right? But did you know that each of these letters stand for each important quality of a good leader? Firstly, specific, S. Secondly, M, measurable. A, achievable. R, relevant. And T, timely.
So, let's go over them briefly. Specific means that you set a goal which is very verbose. You can tell exactly what you need to do. For example, if I had my water bottle here, I could say, my goal is to drink 3 cups of water per day. Yeah, I know that's slow, but it's just an example. I don't actually do that. Anyway, and then it has to be measurable. It has to be something you can actually measure with another piece of equipment or by counting. For example, a non-measurable goal would say, drink more water. But a better version of that would be drink X amount of water per day. But other than that, it also has to be achievable. It's not every day you see goals which aren't achievable, but it might be something like drink 55 liters of water per day. You think you can do that?
Or maybe just simply saying that do not turn in late assignments. Achievable.
Are you sure about that for some people? I'm a Nobel.
For me, I always try. But for other people, maybe I just can't tell.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they also have to be relevant goals, or goals that actually have a bearing on what you're actually doing. For example, if I wanted to improve my health, my goal would not be to add fast food to my meals, right? Yeah, right. I'm gonna answer myself because Mint is currently a bit distracted by someone in the front of the studio. Hello. So you can come in, but enjoy the show, I guess.
But
Yeah, let's move on. What do you think?
the last goal is timely. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Certainly. Timely goals are goals which you can actually measure that are to have a specific duration. It's not like saying drink X amount of water and that's it. You have to say as well, in what day, how many days will it take to complete? For example, a project. You say, I will complete this project by tomorrow. That's timely. But if you remove the by tomorrow part, perhaps you do it next week. Perhaps you do it the week after that. Well, that is my leadership toolkit, my personal toolkit I use for a lot of things and I use to plan my future. So I hope that was helpful.
This is very helpful advice, but unfortunately, we're probably running out of time, and maybe I have to reconsider myself a little bit if how and when I'm going to achieve all of these goals. But anyway, that's it for today, and we hope that again, the content we gave out will be useful to you. Thank you for listening and see you next Wednesday. Goodbye.
Goodbye.